Hello everyone, welcome back to another new video, and if you're new here, welcome to the channel. Okay, so today I'm finally doing the long-awaited JYP audition experience, story time, whatever. A lot of people have been asking for this, so I'm glad you guys liked the SM audition video. Yeah, okay, let's get straight into it because I have nothing else to say. It's like the SM audition one, I'm gonna be starting from the point where I woke up in the Airbnb the next day. So if you don't want to listen to anything like before the audition, you can skip to this timestamp, and I'll be talking about the audition experience right there. So go ahead. Goodbye. After I finished the SM audition, I went straight back to the Airbnb because I was like super tired and I couldn't do anything else. I didn't even have the energy to eat dinner, honestly, so I just went straight back to the Airbnb and straight into bed. Yeah, I only rented that one room for one night only because I was planning to stay in Korea for only 2 days, like the weekend. Some auditions were on Saturday and JYP just happened to have the auditions on Sunday as well, and that's why I decided to go at that time. I woke up the next morning and I did everything. Like I took a shower, I did like everything that I had to do. I slept for quite some time because I slept really early the night before. I woke up pretty early in the morning. I don't remember any of the times. On that Sunday, I don't remember any of the numbers or like times. So like any numbers that I say in this video are probably gonna not be accurate. I got out and then I went to get breakfast. I don't remember what I had for breakfast. Straight after breakfast, I just went straight to the audition because I had nothing else to do. I followed the website's at like address yeah, they have it written on their website, so I just followed that, and like they have the whole guide as well as to how to get to the audition location. It told me to go to this specific station. After I got to that station, I had to take a bus as well from that station to where the building was. I was pretty nervous about that because I had never like gotten on a bus by myself in Korea before, so I didn't know how everything worked, but it was pretty similar to Japan's system. As soon as I got off the bus station, I still had to walk like quite a while to get to the building. I was so scared for this one because like Google Maps always fails me. Like the directions in Google Maps is just like bonkers. It doesn't make any sense. You know, the compass, like it never like points to the right direction, you know what I mean? My Google Maps is like super bugged. That's why I was pretty worried, but I managed to get to the building, but like I still was kind of scared to go in, so I waited for someone else to go in first. One girl, she walked into the building, so I just followed behind her. Yeah, so this is where the audition experience starts. It was pretty fast. I didn't really do anything before. Right as you enter the building, there's like a receptionist right there. So I went to the receptionist. They asked me what I was auditioning for, as in like what I was gonna do, like dance, singing, all that. So I said dance, and they asked me where I was from. I said Japan, and they asked me for a form of identification. I handed over my passport, they checked it, and they say, okay, go up to the 3rd or 4th floor. I don't know, it was pretty high up. As soon as I got to the floor that I was supposed to get to, I have it drawn right here. The stairs are like right here-ish. This is the whole floor, by the way. So you go here, and like right in front of you, there was a paper pasted on the lockers that said, for auditionees, go to your right. So I went to the right, and right there was a dance studio. You're supposed to enter the dance studio. This is what the dance studio looked like this. So you enter, and there's like a huge like table here, and a bunch of people were in front of me already waiting for the audition to start, because at that point it hadn't started yet. JYP, they wait for everyone to come first before they start the audition, so that's like one difference from SM. Right as I entered the room, the vibe was like really friendly. Like everyone was really cheery, everyone was smiling. Overall vibe was like really nice. As soon as you entered the room, they asked you for your name and what you're gonna do. And so I answered, and then they gave me a form to fill out, just like all your personal information. And the one thing that was different about JYP, at the bottom of the form, they have this section where you can write your strengths, like your appeals. I found that pretty cool because, you know, you can appeal yourself more. So I immediately jumped to writing like I can speak 5 languages because that's like one of my biggest prides. Another difference from SM, in JYP auditions, you don't have to do freestyle. Like you can dance to whatever you want. You can prepare the music beforehand, and you can dance to whatever you want. I think that's like so much more better in terms of like you can show your talent a lot more, because like freestyle dancing, there's people who are good at it and there's people who aren't good at it. Even like people who are really good at dancing, choreographed dancing, might not be good at freestyle. So that was pretty cool that they allowed people to prepare things beforehand so that you can like show you at your best. I danced to Goddess Woman, a routine by Chungha. I actually have the routine in my YouTube channel, so you can scroll down my channel and you'll probably see my dance cover of Goddess Woman. So I filled out what I was gonna do. After I gave them back the form, they instructed me to remove the password on my phone so that they can easily just like swipe and like play the music, and yeah. So that's what I did. After waiting for a few, like, I don't know, like 10-15 minutes, the auditions finally started. The people right in front here, there were about like 10 people in one line. The people right in front, they were told to stand up and go follow the staff to the audition room. The staff guy, he went to the front and he was trying to fix the screen or something. I don't know what he was doing, but I think he could tell that everyone was starting to get nervous because the auditions were already starting. He was like trying to break the tension, like he was cracking up a bunch of jokes like, oh come on guys, don't be nervous. Like he was saying a bunch of stuff like that, which I thought was really cool of him. And the rest of the staff as well, like everyone was just laughing amongst themselves, and yeah, the vibe was super nice, and the staff as well were super nice. Our turn finally came, so my line stood up. We followed the staff out, went around here and came over here. We stood in two lines like this, like 1, 2. Okay, difference from SM part, I don't know, 4. JYP had translators ready. They asked us, do any of you require translators? There was a pair of Filipino friends, and I think one of them could speak Korean, so she was translating everything to her friends. So we didn't need the translator, but they had it ready, so I thought it was pretty cool. While we were waiting for the group in front of us to finish their auditions, we could actually hear them singing and dancing and stuff. Staff started explaining to us the rules and stuff, what we're supposed to do as soon as we enter the room, how we're supposed to stand. After she finished explaining, we just had to wait for the group in front of us to finish, and a few minutes later they finished. They came out of the room. We were told to go into the room in a line as well. So this one is the audition room. We were sit in two lines like this, and we were waiting, and then like the people in front of us, they came out like this. We went in like this and we stood in a line in order. This is the judge. There was only one judge, which I thought was like pretty weird. Usually at auditions there's like multiple judges, but for JYP's one there was only one judge, one by one from number 1. This like in order, it's like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, and number 1 started first, and like in order, that's how it went. The first person was actually a guy. I expected him to like bust out some like cool hip-hop moves, you know what I mean, but he started dancing girl group dances. I was like, whoa, okay, like that's unexpected. But like he was like busting out, like shaking his ass, and he was popping off. He was really good. Yeah, at JYP they don't really cut you off in the middle of your performance, so that was also really nice of them. At SM, I mean, like it's understandable because like they have to deal with a lot of people in a day, but at SM they cut you off if they're not that interested in your performance anymore. After the guy, it was a girl and she started singing, and then it was my turn and I started dancing to Goddess Woman. So I did the entire routine, and as soon as I finished, I looked at his face. He didn't really look that impressed. At that point I was like, okay, I'm fucked. Oh, I forgot to mention, by the way, they give you like number stickers before you start the audition. Give it to you at the dance studio while you're waiting, and I got the number like 1 something, like there was a 7 in it. There was a 7 in my number. I had to take an entrance exam to get into my high school, and in my high school the examination number for me, it started with 7. It was 701, and like in the entire school, every single one of my friends, their examination numbers, they started from 1 as far as I know, and they had a total of 5 digits. I was the only one whose number started with 7 and only had 3 digits, and I passed. It was like a really miraculous pass because I only had been in Japan for like a year and a half. I barely knew any Japanese, and I managed to pass and get into a public high school in Japan.
I mean,
so as soon as I saw that 7 in my number sticker, I was feeling pretty lucky. Anyways, back to the story. I was feeling pretty lucky, but then as soon as I saw that unimpressed look on the judge's face, I knew I was done for. I mean, I still had some hope, but I was 80% sure that I hadn't passed. So anyways, the rest of the people finished their auditions and we were told to just go out in a line accordingly. That was it for the audition. And after that, everyone was just told to go home. They also told us that if we passed, we would get an email from JYP in 2 weeks time. So if we didn't get it in 2 weeks, that would mean that we didn't pass. I also thought it was pretty cool of them to mention like the time that we were supposed to wait, because at SM they don't really say anything about that. I've heard stories of people getting contacted again like 6 months later or something, like something ridiculous. But at JYP they made it clear that they will contact you within 2 weeks, and if they don't, you didn't pass. So yeah, that was it for the audition. Because that day was the day I was supposed to take the flight back to Japan, I had like all my stuff with me. I was holding like a backpack and like a huge tote bag with all my stuff, like clothes and stuff in it. It was so heavy, guys. And I was wearing like 4 fucking layers. I was wearing 4 layers because it was like in the middle of December and it was so cold. And I'm so weak with the cold. The thing about Korea is like outside is so cold in the winter. It's freezing outside. As soon as you enter inside, it's like you entered the fucking desert or something. It's so hot. The heaters are blasting everywhere. Even the floors are warm. It's so hot indoors. I was wearing 4 layers because I was outside most of the time. So as soon as I entered the building, I was starting to sweat a lot. I had this huge backpack and this huge tote bag and like 4 layers of clothing on me. I was struggling. I really was. So this thick ass coat because I'm really weak to the cold. It was pretty embarrassing because I was the only person who had like a shit ton of stuff with me while we were waiting. It was like I had this extra person next to me because I had to place my bags and my coat there. I was occupying like a 2-person space. As soon as the audition finished, I just went to Hongdae just to like watch the dancers and stuff and like get some food. Oh, this was also the first time I went to like a Korean restaurant by myself, and it was so freaking scary. It was so scary. In places like Myeongdong and Hongdae, like a lot of the people, they can't speak Japanese because there's a lot of Japanese tourists that go there a lot. I can speak Korean. I like speaking Korean. I pride myself in being able to speak Korean. So I wanted to like flex my freaking Korean language skills, you know what I mean? So I went there. I was a nervous wreck. I was like, 이거 하나만. They told me something in Korean and it apparently meant that I had to pay on the spot. I had to pay before I got the food. He told me that in Korean and I was like, what's that word? I don't understand. I was like, and then he started blasting like Japanese to me. Like he was like, "Nihonjin desu ka?" And I was like, hi. And then he like told me that I had to like pay it on the spot. So yeah, that was a pretty awkward encounter. I ordered jampong, by the way, and I was wearing this white like mint green light colored shirt, and I got the jampong like splattered all over me because I eat like a 5-year-old. So yeah, that day was pretty memorable. After Hongdae, I just walked around, waited for my flight, and I went to the airport, got on my flight, got back to Japan, and that was it. That was the end of my JYP story. That was the only time that I auditioned for JYP. The rest of my audition experiences are either that one JTBC show, Stage K. I auditioned for Stage K as well. It was a show where they were inviting like a bunch of coverists to audition. The coverists get on stage, have the artists judge them. It was like a competition kind of show. The winner of that competition gets to stand on stage with their favorite artists, and they also win a bunch of money. But yeah, I also auditioned for that, and the rest were just SM auditions, like monthly auditions. Let me know if you have any questions for the SM monthly ones. I will be glad to answer them. Thanks for watching and I'll see you guys next time.